Story and struggle. Story and struggle. Joy and the triumph over trouble. See, that's what we have to share with each other. And I have all my struggles to share with you. See, because there's something that's true that changes the way we live based on when we hear the real depth of someone else's spirit. You know what I'm talking about? Things change inside of us. And what I found is that the things that affect me most, whether good or bad, when I can find a way to bring those out to you, to put them on a page and not just take the words on a page and give them to you, but to take the words that have been inscribed on the pages of my heart and to open those up and pour them out in front of you. Something happens, our eyes get bigger, and we go, oh, I could do that. Well, it's no surprise that I started off with something serious. And it wasn't long ago that I had this particular story, a particular struggle that happened to me that really affected me a lot. And I felt like I needed to write something about it, so I did. And I felt like it was important to start off this with this piece. So if I get emotional, just bear with me. She couldn't have said anything worse. There are no lines she could have rehearsed to bring greater damage to my heart that Sunday after church. I'd just been introduced to Rebecca and made a comment about her nice red hair when she dealt the blow that brings me here before you today. It's still hard for me to say. Oh yeah, I guess your hair is sort of red. I remember the first time anyone tried to make fun of my orangey red hair, shining fair and bright in the summer afternoon, my 6-year-old nose and cheeks covered with cute patches of freckles. She called me Carrot Top. That little girl kept hurling it at me as if I possessed some sort of bulbous, grotesque deformity or contagious disease, or maybe she felt it her duty to be the one oh so slyly informing me of the enormity of a stunning discovery that, like, oh my gosh, my hair isn't blonde, like, how is that possible? But I was ready. The 6 glorious years I lived rushing together to a culmination of that savory moment of childhood satisfaction when I would hurl her down from her high and mighty pedestal of fun-making. I may have looked sweet and innocent, but I was completely prepared to annihilate her in the warfare of prepubescent verbal battle. I would rattle her brain with my ribald riposte, clothe her with shame for the mere thought that she was allowed to make witticisms about my God-given birthright of beautiful red hair. I merely made plain the obvious truth her little ignorant eyes had overlooked. You are stupid. Carrot tops are green. And it was done. Her tongue lay helpless in the Texas dirt. I never saw her again, but those words must have quickly spread to all humanity because no one ever dared call me Carrot Top. From that point on, I took up the red-haired badge of courage, conducting the research on our history, collecting the wisdom of red-haired sages of the past who persevered in the plight of paranoia, persecution, and abuse. I was the first to speak up at local rallies, the last to lead protest demonstrations and sit-ins when we marched on Washington, hair burning a trail into the heart of America. I was on the front lines, and every time I hear some kid in the mall point me out and say I look like Shaggy, I make sure and I let him know that it is not his lanky limbs, scraggly goatee, baggy clothes, or the way his nose and throat keep his voice forever sounding like he's like going through like puberty, man, that make him cool, zoink scoob. Oh no, it's that slight hint of redness in his hair. Words wear thin. When trying to convey the depth of pain and hurt I've overcome in the struggle we all face to find equality. So when those words twisted their knife from Rebecca's mouth into the soul of who I am, I felt the fury, the rage, the exploding ageless revenge that I wanted to say like that summer day with another little girl so long ago. But I've learned to grow past the wound. and hope that she discovers soon that even if my hair isn't as red as some, it's not about what's on my head. It's whether my hair is red in my heart. Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, if you know anyone who has red hair, there are some programs available, some groups that they can get in touch with here in the city, and I can hook you up with that. Man, there's some people that need help. You know, it's like there's so many things, so many times it's kind of like we love to make victims out of ourselves, you know. It's like, oh, somebody did something bad to me. I'm a victim. I deserve money from the government. Give me money from the government. You know? And there's this thing that's kind of like, at some point, it's like, you know, we kind of need to get on with things, you know, and make the best out of a bad situation.